Power Chord.
Hey, Power Car followers, it's an honor for me. I cannot say another way to have in the other part of the world my favorite drummer, I guess, because it's Brendan Canty from Fugazi and The Messthetics here with Power Car. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Matteo. Great to see you. Thanks
Thank
for
you. Great to
having
see you
me.
for us, and
Yeah.
thanks for your time because I would have a lot to ask you, but I just put out some questions. Um,
Yeah, no problem. Whatever you want to ask. Yeah.
when you think back to your early days as a drummer, what first made you realize that rhythm could be a form of expression rather than just a accompaniment, if you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, early on in life, I was thinking, just about pushing energy out there. I wasn't really thinking about, I mean, like playing drums was mostly about being a part of a collective group, and it was part of being, uh, I don't know, what we call in baseball a utility player. It's like somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to play drums. I had my favorite drummers, back then, um, Earl from the Bad Brains or Rat Scabies, whoever it was from the punk rock world. I loved. I also come from Washington D.C., which was also home of like go-go and all this like big rhythm based music coming out of the black community. And I was like, well, I want to kind of combine all those things. I want to be able to have the energy, but I also, so doing, so tried, all that was embedded in my brain growing up, but mostly what it was about was communicating with my friends and making songs that made us excited. And then going out and making people listen to them, putting them up and seeing what happened and experimenting all the way through. At some point, it became important to me that the records became more important to me. The things that I was doing on the records, and was like, well, I want the records to sound good. I want the records to be, interesting and using. I want to use the studio as a instrument in itself. And so, in Fugazi, we got more and more comfortable in the studio, and we started to set our expectations higher and higher and higher, so that we could actually like, we'd record 12 songs and throw six of them away because we didn't think they were good enough. So that was for me, a great collaboration in that I think everybody really had their eyes on the prize, where we were trying to make better records and better songs, and really working really hard on it. And that amount of working, um, and then and I was also very lucky to be in a band with guys who didn't mind that I would bring in songs, and I would share with them, the music that I wanted to play too. So I was trying to, they were happy with me contributing, and it felt like four equal members in that band. So as time goes on,
For
and then,
leaders, I would
four
say.
leaders, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then, anyways, then after Fugazi, I spent a lot of time doing music for television and all this other stuff. I play all these different other instruments, um, and uh, and when I came back to playing drums about 10 years ago, playing more live drums with the Messthetics, um, it kind of changed. We're still collaborating in a big way, but it's much more, not so much about the records as it is being in and performing and improvising and
Yeah.
changing it and listening and collaborating on the stage live is
Yeah.
more what we're about now. So I still like making good records, but I don't we don't worry about them the way that Fugazi did. Fugazi was like, we are concerned, we have to make the
The
best record
song.
ever. Yeah, Messthetics is like, let's go in the studio for 2 days and see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next question was the two different approaches, uh, like you said now, improvisation. I mean, and composing a song
Hmm.
for a record. It's two different kind of approaching to music.
Yeah.
What I ask him later. Um, how do you approach the drum kit differently? I would like to talk about technically when you improvise and compare with when you were playing, for example, with Fugazi or Rites of Spring. I mean, you use the same kit, or
Yeah.
you feel free to use some other stuff.
Well, I use when I'm able to, I use the same kit every night. But when I'm on tour in Europe, I use a different drum set every night. I just,
Why? Why in Europe?
yeah, yeah, because I'm on tour and we take trains. We take
Ah,
trains
okay,
and we
okay. It's
fly.
necessary.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love it. I love touring on trains, and then we show up, and whatever drums are there is what I
It's
play. I mean,
okay.
I ask them, I say, please try to get this, but they're always a little bit different, and it's great for me because I can actually like experiment every night. If you're a drummer, you know that if something is a little bit different, you go, oh, well, that's kind of cool. You kind of like lean into it.
Yeah,
You play around with different sounds, and it turns you on, and you play differently. You play differently with every drum set.
it's
Is
a challenge.
as far as it's a
It's like a
challenge.
challenge.
I do bring in my own cymbals, but it's not just a challenge, but it's an opportunity to learn about other drum kits, which most people don't get. Shit, you buy your drum set, it costs a
Yeah,
bunch of money, and you play that drum set, and you worry about like, oh, I should probably change the head, or I should probably change and then when you do, it's a big deal. But if you have a different drum set every night, it's like you're basically showing up and fucking around on somebody else's drum set. Like it's great. It really is. You can learn a lot about what you like if you play different instruments. I
yeah, yeah,
find.
yeah. You
And then
work.
I come home and I adopt some of that to my own
Yeah,
kit, right? And I change things about my own kit
yeah,
based
because
on
you
what
felt
I,
fine with some kids
or better.
better. Yeah,
Better. Yeah, yeah. Some people, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, there's just a million ways to
yeah.
to to
Never
play
stop
things.
to grow and learn.
Never, never, never. You try to keep it moving forward.
You work across punk, post-hardcore, jazz, electronic music, movies. I mean, movies, soundtrack,
Yeah,
experimental projects. What connects all these different musical worlds for you?
that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately, um, in the film world, it's like just knowing how something, like when you put your music up against the film or the video or whatever, you see the changes, and you see how it affects the mood of the film, and then you have the ability to change that. So I would say the thing that that ties all these projects together is my ability to react to it and wear a different hat. Like I can wear the drummer hat, but I can also wear the producer hat on the same piece of music. Like I'll drum a little bit and then I'll listen to it and wear the producer hat and go, that's a terrible idea. I will, I'm going to change that. So I think for me, I try to, I try to, um, I try to call bullshit on myself. I say, okay, well, that was fun to do, but I don't like necessarily what I was doing. So I try
Yeah,
to change it, and I try, it's not always easy. And I tell you, it's really hard when you're in the studio. Like this weekend, I was in the studio with some friends, and I was just a session drummer. I was just playing, and they would say, "Oh, I don't like that," and I would go, "Ouch," like that. If they want me to change. I think I'm doing a great job, and they're like, "No, you gotta, can you make it simpler and do the same thing over and over again?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's not really as much fun." So, but the trick I think is to do that for yourself
yeah,
and
yeah,
listen with a critical ear and say, okay, well, maybe this is not, maybe that really. is not good. It's fun to do, but it's not helping the song, or it's
Yeah.
not helping the recording. That's the hard thing.
Power Core.